Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're watching us on YouTube, please give us 5-star rating and please give us subscribe and hit and thumbs up it, please. If you're listening to this on our audio platforms, 5-star rating, subscribe to the podcast, and download additional episodes after you listen to this interview. I am honored and privileged to welcome an OG in this house. He started, many people recognize him from his first start on Real World Hawaii. Next, he was on Extreme Challenge 2000 representing Real World. Now, after Real World, he appeared on numerous TV shows such as Friends, The Hughleys, NCIS, and The Parkers. He also appeared in several films such as National Lampoon's Van Wilder and First Daughter. He also hosted MTV's daily hip hop show, Direct Effect, and the Cartoon Network revival of Hole in the Wall. And he's also more recently returned to the challenge to participate into the first 2 seasons of Challenge All Stars, where he placed 4th in the 2nd season. And he's also a talented stand-up comedian. So please help me welcome and a true icon, Teck Holmes, to the podcast.
Yeah, dang, man. Wow. Go ahead, Jacob. Man, you made me feel like, a star, brother. Thank you. I didn't know I did all that stuff. Appreciate you, man.
It is an honor to have you, Teck. It is a privilege. So, guys, Teck and I met at Challenge Mania Laugh in Kansas City. So I want to give a big shout out to my friends Scott Yeager and Derek Kaczynski. Thank you so much for bringing Challenge Mania to Kansas City. And Teck, it was a pleasure. You made me laugh, my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Scott and Derek, man. Well, yeah, like you said, shout out to Scott and Derek for putting this thing together, for taking us challengers on the road. They really do a great job with their podcast and with their live events. So shout out to Derek and Scott. Keep it going. Keep me on the road. I love it. I'm having a good time. And I meet people like you, Jacob. So, cheers. Cheers to them.
Cheers to them. Cheers to them. And cheers,
Cheers to
Scott and
them.
Derek. And thank you so much for being my honorary older brother mentors when it comes to the podcasting world.
Right. He's a good dude. Like I said, he's a real good guy, man. Very funny too. I like doing the challenge when we do the comedy shows. It's a real good time. I like it.
Awesome. So, Teck, when did you get interested in performing, and how did that passion evolve the desire to pursue a career in the entertainment industry?
It's funny. Good question. So, entertaining. I think I had been entertaining since I was probably like in like kindergarten doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like plays and stuff. But I remember I was in like 3rd grade, and I was at my mother's. She worked for Equitable, and I was at my mother's Christmas party. And this is back when breakdancing was like really, really like popular. This is like 80 something, right? So I had on my little breakdancing gear, and I had on my shoes, which I hated. I had like church shoes, but I wanted some tennis shoes. But anyway, so the breakers were out there breaking, and then I had just busting my moves, and my mom was like, she didn't know I could dance. You know what I'm saying? So I got out there busting my breakdance move, and everybody was like, Vera, that's your son? Oh my God. And then that feeling of that day in 3rd grade, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I would probably say at my mother's Equitable party when I was breakdancing in 3rd grade is when I kind of got the bug to perform, I stepped out, I jumped out on the dance floor, and it was just like, oh, I like this reaction. I like this feeling. So after that, just been doing it ever since.
It's incredible because I've done to a lot of bar mitzvah dances and school dances, and I love to get down.
Right. You got to get down at the bar mitzvah, brother. You know what I mean? I've
Absolutely.
DJed several bar mitzvahs, and they've been pretty cool. Everybody gets down. Actually, they hire people to make sure people get down. Like they got to make sure grandma gets down too. Grandma, grandpa. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been years since I've done that. So speaking of years, it's coming close to the 25th anniversary since you made your television debut on Real World Hawaii. So what were some of the lessons that you learned from Real World Hawaii that helped you prepare for your next chapter of your career?
Lessons I learned is basically be myself, and I was just telling my somebody that the other day that I have to remember to be myself, because that's kind of what got me to where I am today, by being myself, and and I yeah, that was the lesson that I learned, is to always be myself, because that got me where I am, and hopefully it's going to keep me where I am. And also on the real world, I just learned how to like work with other people in a close knit situation, because I was young. I was still 23, 24, and I was working with, I had a job or this and that, but like actually living with people and like coming in close quarters with people like that, you really have to learn how to like communicate and work with other people. So I think that's what taught me. That's what that situation taught me. But other than that, man, it just taught me to be myself. And then if I'm myself, then it's going to carry me a long way in life. And it certainly has. I've been Teck Holmes, Teck Money, Tecumseh Stanley Holmes all my life, and it's been treating me really well. So my life lesson from that is just be yourself. Hope I'm not rambling.
Absolutely. You are your authentic self, no matter where you are, no matter if it's the challenge or no matter if it's all those TV shows I mentioned, the movies I mentioned, the shows you hosted, you are your authentic self. And we thank you for that.
Oh, for sure. Thank you, man. You gotta be, I think that's what's the beauty about being on The Real World and Road Rules is you meet so many crazy, fantastic personalities. Whether you like the people or you don't, you get to see these fantastic personalities. And I think that's one of the big things why The Real World and Road Rules has been along for such a long time. Well, not Road Rules anymore, but The Real World and the Challenge, because of the personalities, and you can only be yourself. And that's just what makes for good television. If you are yourself and you have a great personality, it's going to make for great television. That's my thought.
Absolutely. So, what have been some of the challenges that you face continue to be in the entertainment industry? Because several people that I've spoken with over the years, they said they were a little pigeonholed because they were in reality television. So how did being associated with reality television challenge you as you advanced your entertainment career in the entertainment industry, and how did you overcome those obstacles?
Jacob, I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't have any challenges. I feel like I came on the heels of Heather B. She was in a few movies. David Edwards had did a few movies, and I was coming on the heels of those guys. And when I came in, because I did the work for acting, I didn't come in messing up my auditions. That's the whole thing. Excuse me. If the casting directors, producers, if they see you as a real thespian or a real actor or someone that's just not being themselves when it's not called for, then you'll get in the rooms. I didn't have any problems getting in the rooms. I didn't have any problems like booking. My only problem is staying motivated. I'm kind of like I'm an aloof Aquarius. So sometimes I can be really on, and then sometimes I can be really off. And that's my only biggest challenge is like staying motivated, staying on. Putting my head down and like just staying in the game. Sometimes I can be out. Sometimes my head can be out of the game. So that's my biggest challenge. But other than that, man, it's been all love. The casting directors, the actors, everybody's. They show us so much love, especially in the early days, man. I was having so much love, getting so much love from so many people. I've never had a real challenge with it.
And that's incredible to hear. And I'm so grateful that you had that experience of having that, not being able to stand on those roadblocks. And
yeah.
And not to mention, you've been on several iconic sets. So, like, for example, you appeared as yourself on both the Hughleys and the Parkers, but you also portrayed various characters on several classic TV shows and films such as Friends, NCIS, and National Lampoon's Van Wilder. So, what were some of the similarities and differences between all those experiences?
They were all learning experiences. That's the similarity. They were all learning experiences. I was young, green, really learning how to get my chops. I was so nervous on Friends. I actually hate watching that because I was chilling until like everybody, like my managers, my agents, and everybody was like made it such a big deal. I actually kind of hate that scene. To me, I feel like when I watch it, I feel like I know that I'm nervous. So to me, it comes off nervous. That's just who just me. But other than that, man, I was appreciative and grateful for the Hughleys and Parkers to actually write a part for me. That was great. I learned a lot when I did Van Wilder. I watched Ryan and just saw how much of a professional he was. And it's also learning from Katie Holmes when I, watched her, just watching how professional they are. So when it's my turn to be in that position, I'll be the same way. So I just take everything I've done so far as a learning experience. And which led me to being on set, which led me to actually producing a show called Laugh Mobs Laugh Tracks on True TV. And I actually produced my first show that ended in 2019. So from that, I learned what to take from the business and how the business is run. And then when I got my opportunity to become a producer, I took it and ran with it. And that's all from being on the other sets that were so iconic, as you said.
And that's incredible that you took that experience to go into the producing role. So was there a change that you did going from in front of the camera to behind the camera?
No, people don't understand is when I was actually applying for the Real World in 1999, I had already done a film, and I say a student film, but it was an actual real film that I shot in college. So while I was in Hawaii, I was actually like looking at dailies from my film in Hawaii that they sent me. So being on the production side comes easy to me because that's where I started. You know, I started out in mass communications when I was in college, and when I was in college, I was doing all kinds of stuff from small projects, directing small projects. And actually, let me say this: the way I got on the Real World was because I produced a tape, and my tape was found by Jason and Jason Cornwell. And once he's found my tape that I put together, he submitted it to production, right? So I was already doing production to get on the Real World because I produced my original tape, if that makes sense. You know, and the way my tape was, it wasn't just me sitting in front of the camera saying, "Hey, this is what I want to do." I actually had it was like a tape of me. Like it seemed like I was already on the Real World, and so, like I said, coming from college, going to the Real World, I was already doing production, so it was an easy transition.
Absolutely. And we're both mass communication, but I emphasized was broadcasting journalism. So
Right.
I did 3 years on on CU Sports Mag with the student publications. And I also interned about the ABC and NBC affiliates in Denver and also Fox 4 in Kansas City. And I even did some crew work when X Factor visited both Kansas City and Denver. So I
Nice.
definitely have that love for both being in front and behind the camera.
Right, I do too. It's all being creative, you know. It's just about do you want your ego to shine or do you want your work to shine? And when I say do you want your ego to shine, that's being in front of the camera. That's all ego, you know. But your work is like putting together something, and like say if I wrote a script or something, do I have to star in it or can I put someone else in the starring position? You know what I mean? And by that, do I want to just have my work shine by putting someone else in the starring position, or do I want my work and my ego to shine by putting myself in the starring position? So it's all work, whether or not you want to be in front or behind the camera. It's all being creative.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's taken me 12 years to do this. I've started jakesnetchick.com, my first blog back in 2011, and now we're up to
Uh-huh.
12 years in August.
Nice. Congratulations, bro. Yeah,
Thanks.
congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's always when I've done my interviews, no matter if it's a rising star regarding music, rising recording artist versus a content creator versus someone who's been on a reality television and more recently, more actors and producers, I
Mhm.
always want them to shine no matter if they're on my blog or on my podcast.
Right. Well, you have an actual platform for them to shine, so of course that's what you want to do, and then by them shining, it makes you shine as well. It's a reciprocation thing, you know. It's like two mirrors reflecting the sun at each other. You know what I mean? You shine, I shine. You shine, I shine.
Absolutely. And you also
But
shined as well. In addition to producing and also starring, acting, you also hosted Direct Effect and Cartoon Network's Hole in the Wall as well. So hosting's amazing. I love hosting.
yes, yes, that's I think that's one of my favorite. I like hosting because like you can do it and you don't have to like it's creative, it's quick, you have to be quick, and you also have to just know how to have a good rapport with the audience. And that's what I like. I like having a good rapport with the audience. I like talking back, I like getting the feedback from the audience. And then when you're on television doing hosting, it's just, I mean, I think I'm good at it. You know, I look good, you know, got a good smile. I pattern myself after all the best hosts, you know, so I actually enjoy hosting a lot.
Same with me. I do a lot of research on watching old clips of some of my favorite talk show hosts and to
Right.
ever do it. So I definitely do a lot of studying. And gotta say, you are one of the most you're so stylish. It's not even funny. If you see guys, if you go to my Instagram and go to Tech's Instagram, he has some amazing suits, including a red velvet jacket that I was so in awe of when he came to Kansas City.
Thank you. As you say, I'm stylish. As I have on the black, it's crazy. I have on just this black T-shirt, and I feel so like icky right now. I'm like, I keep adjusting it because I'm like, I didn't even think about. I had an interview today, but I appreciate you, man. But not today. I don't feel stylish today. I feel a little regular. But hey, It is what it is. But thank you for the compliments. Yes, go check my
And also,
style out.
gotta say, cool glasses. No matter if you're dressing that, but also or approaching stylish glasses, Jace. You are the definition of cool, Tech.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, Jake. I'm gonna hire you, man. I'm gonna hire you as my PR guy.
Awesome. Awesome. So anyway, let's get back to our conversation. So back a couple of years ago, near the end of the end of 2010s, Mark Long created a Twitter social media campaign called "Bringing Back We Want OGs," and that evolved. By not just myself, but other people like Scott Yeager and Challenge Mania and other alums involved, and it quick fire and evolved into the Challenge All Stars, which is a spinoff on Paramount Plus. So, what brought you back from the Challenge world after almost 20 years?
Time. Excuse me. They say timing is everything, and that's true. Timing is everything. I was sitting at the house. I was working a little bit. I was doing production. I was doing like a few AD jobs here and there whenever they were calling me. But the phone rang, and I was literally, like, well, what am I doing? Why would I say no? Why would I say no? There's no reason for me to say no. So they called me. It was the right time, and I said no, and I went and had an almost good time.
Absolutely, and I gotta say, Tech, thank you so much for coming back. Because that's the thing is because just to let you know, everyone know, I'm a newbie when it comes to the challenge world. I came in when Paulie and Dave Vaughn were in, and Natalie were in. So I came in. I'm from the Big Brother people brought me in, but it was people like Jay and everyone else on Survivor and stuff. But however, I stayed by watching the All Stars and seeing everything. I am in awe of all the OGs and all the incredible stories. Like to hear about John Brennan, who visited the podcast, and also Dan Walsh, who also visited. I totally respect all of you that paved the way for so many people, and it feels like that, in all honesty, that some of the challenge members that are on the show now don't even know how to do that, or don't even know how you guys build up that show.
Yeah, we talked about this, so it's a difference. So for the older ones, we didn't have social media. We were the social media. You know what I mean? So our focus is on more like the game, and like the formula was different. You know what I mean? We were the social media, so we were focused on the game or like inside relationships or inside drama. You know what I mean? Now I think the people are more focused on the outside of it. You know what I mean? How many people I have after this? You know what I'm saying? I have to look extra good and stuff. So it's just a different level of competition or different level of players nowadays. I mean, everything changes, but if you follow me, like I said before, we were the social media. Now people want to just have a social media following. So the way they're playing is different. You know what I mean? It's just a different minds right now. Mindset, mind state, one of those things. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's definitely changed. So now, in addition to your television work, you're also a stand-up comedian. So how long does it take you to create a set?
It's funny you said I have to write a new set now. So it does. If I sat down and wrote, like, I have notes, so I have notes, right? So in my notes I have 2022 jokes, I have 2017 jokes, I have 2019 jokes. So what I have to do is I would take whatever joke I haven't told before and just start crafting a new set. It's probably take me about to get it down. It would take me about a month. To write it, it would probably take me a day or two, because I have enough jokes right now. I just have to write out the bits, But to get the bits right, it take me working it out like 3 nights a week for about a month to like really almost memorize it. I would have a good 30. I can say I have a good 30 minutes in 30 days. Let's say that. Yeah.
That's a good amount of jokes. Like I've heard a lot. Like one of my heroes, Joan Rivers, had a huge pile of jokes that she had. I can still see the huge thing folder of jokes and a huge closet of jokes. It's like alphabetical. I'm like, I cannot do that kind of stuff. I'm organized, but not that organized.
Yeah, there was a guy, Arnie. Oh man, he was in this documentary. Arnie, I should know it. Anyway, this guy, he's like that too. He had his house was just full of jokes. You know what I mean? Like he's like, I can pull a joke about this. I can pull a joke about that. So as a writer, it's good to have an arsenal of jokes that you can just pull from. So like if I was hosting and someone was talking about, a bar mitzvah, I would have a bar mitzvah joke, or if someone was talking about Joan Rivers, I would have a Joan Rivers joke. Who knows? You know what I mean? So it's good to have an arsenal of jokes. But yeah, I can have a 30-minute set in 30 days.
That's cool. Now, do you have a particular comedy club that you like? Or like, is there like, okay, I have a signature comedy club in Los Angeles. I have a signature comedy club in Denver or Las Vegas. Do you have, or do you like going to different places?
So it's funny. So here's the thing with me. I do this to stay fresh for hosting, I've just recently told myself that I'm going to go on the road because I'm like, it's crazy. I'm more of a practice guy than I am a game guy. And all my friends is like, what are you doing? Like, I just want to, I don't know what it is, but I'm always practicing, but I need to start being in the game more. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. I do a lot of shows, but I should be doing more shows. But what I do is I do a lot of like hole in the wall spots just to get my timing right, just to get everything right, because I just want to be so good that when I do a major club that it's like, okay, we're hiring Teck back again. We're going to hire him for something, So my thing is I have a whole bunch of just hole in the wall spots that I do 3 times a week, one by my house in Reseda. I got one in like East LA. So I just go and just do hole in the wall spots. But I'm going to start getting on the road more, Jacob, and actually knocking off these comedy clubs.
I think that's a great idea because I love going to comedy clubs, and it's rare that I like when I was in New York, I went to Caroline's a lot. So right. I remember seeing Leslie Jones and Colin Jost and Tracy Morgan, seeing those shows when I'm there before they moved over to the Upper East Side. Right.
And I'm the guy that when I do go, I'm like, now I'm just so much in my head. I'm always in my head. I'm like, I'm a weirdo. I'm in my head. I'm the guy now that I feel like when I do hit Caroline's, I will be able to knock that shit out. You know what I mean? And that's why I stayed practicing so much so that if I do show up somewhere, I'm be able to knock it out and go, wow, he was really, really good. Surprising the shit out of me. That's what I want for people. I want to surprise you. I only want you to think like, Tech's doing, whoa. They don't know I've been doing it for a while because I don't talk about it. I just do it just to stay sharp.
Absolutely. Have you also been considering festivals as well, or are you like waiting for that to be later?
Waiting for that to be later. I want to get on the road. I'm gonna get on the road. I open for a few people, a few big names, so I'm just ready to get on the road myself or go on the road with one of those guys. I got a few comedy mentors that are really, really established in the game, and I've been talking to a few of them. So hopefully I can get on the road one day when they have a space for me.
That's incredible. I love having mentorships. They're incredible. I got to give it, besides Scott, I need to give another mentor out. Josh Skinner. He and I have known each other since 2011, so over 12 years. So I love having a mentor. So what are some of the lessons that your comedy mentors have taught you to help you grow in your craft?
Right. And get out the house. Marlon Wayans name drop. Marlon was like, man, you better write and get out the house, man. What are you doing in the house? Ain't nothing happening in the house. Get out the house. So like write and get out. You know what I mean? So that's one of my guys, Marlon and Sean and Marlon, man. They both take me under the wings. So shout out to Sean and shout out to Marlon Wayans. They both take me under their wings, let me open for them, and like actually just give me game of like, bro, if you ain't writing, what are you doing? If you ain't out of sight, out of mind, and if you're not writing, then you're not really doing anything. So that's some of the advice that I've got.
Awesome. So let's talk, because I know we touched upon this earlier. Let's talk about social media. Have you thought of what are your favorite platforms that you like connecting with fans on?
Oh man, I after MySpace, I gave up on social media. No, I'm just
I remember those days.
So I was just talking to someone about this. Like, I'm really basically because it's like actual friends and family. I can see what my cousins are doing. I can see what my old classmates are doing. I can catch up. When my friends are their daughters are selling Girl Scout cookies, or my friend's son, he hit the game-winning home run in the game. I like stuff like that. I like feel good, cheesy stuff like that. And then I watch Instagram. I like looking at the girls' asses on Instagram. It's a lot of TNA on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
not really on Twitter, but there's nudity on Twitter. So if I was to go on Twitter, I would like Twitter for the nudity. But I don't really go on Twitter. And then I go on TikTok when someone sends it to me. So I go on Facebook for my family. I go on Instagram for the pictures of the hot chicks, and that's pretty much it. You know, I'm not really a social media guy. You see, I don't follow anybody. I'm not. It's a little too much for me. I like just being able to like post stuff, but I don't like all the other interact. Here's the thing, Jacob. I'm not really an interactive type of person. You know what I mean? Like I'm a selective. I'm an introverted extrovert, if that makes sense. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So like all the interacting and all stuff, I don't want to do that. It's just not me. And I know people say you have to do it, but I just don't want to. So I choose to like interact on Facebook with my old classmates, and other than that, I'm good. I'm cool.
I totally understand it. Like for me, I always do like even to people that I don't follow who I admire, I always leave like a nice comment to like Bobby Bones, or if there's anybody from the challenge world like Jordan or Paul or Cara, or Turbo, I send a little bit a positive note to them or anything.
Uh-huh.
So it's like even though I follow them and sometimes they follow me, I always send people like positive stuff or something like that, because there's too much negativity and toxicity in social
media. There is. And I'm more of a I'm not a more of a if you inbox me, it's like, you know, back in the day when someone would send you a letter, a fan letter or whatever, you would write back. So now I feel like if someone inboxes me, it's almost like not a fan letter, but you know what I mean? It's more personal. I feel like it's more personal when you inbox me. So I try to, like, if you inbox me, I try to respond back at least once, you know, just say, hey, whatever. If it's something positive, even if it's something, you know, negative or whatever, if you got a disagreement, I might hit you back and say something. But if you inbox me, I'll hit you back for sure. Yeah.
And guys, this is how we got connected. It's because of this inboxing.
There you go. Yep. Oh, and another thing. As an artist, there's this thing called cryptomnesia. And that's when you take an idea that you've heard before and you think that it's yours or it's an original idea. And as an artist, if I follow too many people or if I see too much information, I don't want to take something that's not original and put it in my set or something like that. You know what I mean? I want to be as original as I can. So I don't want everything coming at me from all angles. You know, I want to have no idea is original, but I want the idea to really come from my own thoughts. You know what I mean? Not because I've seen it from somewhere. And that's another reason why I don't follow anybody.
And here's the thing, that's almost the same thing when I do my podcast with my guests, because I'm worried about writing the same questions that Scott and Derek write, or what Paige have most likely to, or my friend chilling with Dylan, or Mike Lewis. My friends, I am scared about copying my friends.
Yep, it's called cryptomnesia. Look it up, man. And it's not intentional or anything like that. It's just, like you said, you'll get something in your subconscious and you'll put it out there. You're like, oh shit, you know, that was someone else asked that question. So we, as artists, we want to be as original as we can. So I know I definitely want to be as original as I can. Again, there's no original idea under the sun, but I don't want to hear an idea and steal from it. You know, I want to. If I'm gonna steal from someone back in the 60s and the 70s. I'm stealing from like Red Fox or like, you know, Richard Pryor or something like that. I'm not gonna steal from, you know, Jamie Foxx or something like that. You know, it's too current. You know.
Absolutely. And here's the thing: what sets my podcast apart from other podcasters is I don't. When it comes to the challenge, I don't go in depth. I rather talk about your careers and go inside, like, and talk about your careers and everything. Because Scott and Paige, Dylan, Mike, they do a fabulous job covering the challenge.
Right.
I know about covering about what goes outside after the challenger, after you've been on the show, and what and how your life grows. And that sets me apart from other podcasters.
You got to have your own angle, man. You got to have your own angle, Jacob. You do, brother.
Thank you, Teck. I appreciate it. So, are there any dream projects that you want to tackle?
I mean, yeah, sure. If I can be in a movie with Eddie Murphy, co-star along with Eddie Murphy, you know, that'd be great. If I can one day become the next Indiana Jones, that'd be great. You know, because here's the thing: I feel like the challenge will set me up to be like an Indiana Jones. You know, I can see me swinging from vines, going from building to building, doing some stuff off in the Mayan ruins in the jungle, just because, you know, that's kind of what we do. So I've been getting kind of like a itch to to be like the Black Indiana Jones, or not even the black one. Make me up, Chicago Williams or something like that. Indiana Jones, I'll be Chicago. I'll be Illinois Williams.
I could definitely see you and Eddie Murphy do that, and I could also see you be the Chicago Williams.
Yes, so
as long as there's not a hulking named CT that specializes in taking down people in hall brawls, you're fine.
Yeah, fine. Well, you know what? He can take me. Look, we'll have him start in the movie. He'll take me down. He might beat me up once, but the hero has to win. So I'll win at the end. You know what I mean? He might win the war, but I might win the battle, but I'll win the war.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we got to start winding down our conversation. So if you had a chance to meet, because I know a lot of people who listen to this are like getting ready to send in their last minute audition tapes to America's Got Talent, or to Survivor, or to Big Brother, or to Are You the One, or The Voice. If you had the opportunity to meet with someone that wants to get their start in reality television and they know their passion, want to advance their career, what advice would you share with them?
Again, it goes back to our earlier conversation, callback, is just be yourself, because you never know what a producer, director, casting director is looking for. We think we might know, but we have no idea what they're discussing in closed doors. You might be like, I'm a schizophrenic, alcoholic, homeless, whatever. They be like, and you never know. They were like, can we find a schizophrenic, homeless Asian person that we can put on the show? You know what I mean? And like, that might be you. You know what I mean? You might just be what they're looking for. So you might think you're too conservative, but they might want a conservative, Southern Baptist preacher's daughter, and that just might be you. So don't try to be something you're not, because you never know what they're looking or casting for.
Absolutely, absolutely. Last question. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. So where can my audience connect with you on social media? But also, when you get ready for this tour, where can they find out where you're going to be playing at?
Oh, I'm everywhere. Teck Holmes, TeckHolmes, Teck Holmes everywhere, and then except TikTok. I don't have a TikTok, if someone took it. I'm not on there anyway. But some little white kid has my TikTok. If I can get that name, I might start posting. But some little white dude is like 12 years old has my name, Teck Holmes, on TikTok. But anyway, probably Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They're all connected. When I post, usually one place, it goes everywhere. So it's just Teck Holmes, and then you can find out if I'm toured, if and when I'm touring, if I have any movies that are out right now. As a matter of fact, go to Tubi and check out Adam and Eve, starring Brian Hooks, co-starring myself. You see that on Tubi. And other than that, I think that's about it. Yeah.
Awesome, Teck. So guys, have you missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast? Visit our channels on Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Spotify, and Spreaker. It's Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JAKESTAKE with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Once again, it's Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. And guys, just go to the website that started it all. Visit jakes-take.com for more articles, more interviews with Dan Walsh, Paulie Calafiore, and also Joss Mooney and Jay Starrett, and even Scott and Paige and Mike Lewis and Dylan. All of them have visited the jakes-take.com. We're starting in August. You're celebrating year 12.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right.
Teck, it was such an honor and privilege to talk with you. Thank you so much for taking time in your schedule to talk with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jake. Now I'm about to take my ass to sleep, brother.
All righty, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a great one, everybody. Goodbye.